Alright, imagine this. You're digging through your pocket change, maybe looking for a quarter to feed a parking meter or buy a soda, and there it is. A penny. Just another ordinary, boring penny, right? But what if I told you that one of these little copper coins, yes, a simple 1968 Lincoln penny, could be worth a mind-blowing $1 million? Yeah, you heard that right. A penny, 1 cent, now worth enough to buy a mansion, a fancy car, and still have enough left over for a lifetime supply of cheeseburgers. Today, we're diving deep into this rare 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, why it's so special, how to check if you have one, and what makes coin collectors go absolutely nuts over it. And stick around, because I'm going to share a personal story about the time I almost threw away a valuable coin. Trust me, you don't want to make the same mistake. Okay, so let's get into the meat of it. Normally, in 1968, Lincoln pennies were minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The ones from Denver and San Francisco got a little D or S stamped on them. But Philadelphia? Well, they didn't usually put a mint mark on their pennies back then. Some 1968 pennies were supposed to have mint marks, but somehow didn't. And that's where things get crazy. Experts believe that this happened because a few coins accidentally missed the stamping process, creating an ultra-rare variety. What makes this coin worth $1 million? Now, not every 1968 penny without a mint mark is worth a fortune. You gotta check for a few things. Some no-mint mark pennies are just regular Philly-made coins, which aren't worth more than pocket change. But if your coin was actually meant to have a mint mark and doesn't, jackpot. A scratched-up, chewed-on penny isn't going to bring in the big bucks. The highest value coins are those in pristine, almost untouched condition, known as mint state. The fewer of these that exist, the higher the value. And let me tell you, this bad boy is rare that a top-graded 1968 no-mint mark penny recently sold for a whopping $1 million at auction. Why? Because collectors love unique errors. The rarer and weirder the mistake, the more they'll pay. Alright, this is where you get to have some fun. Grab a magnifying glass. Or if you're like me and your eyesight isn't what it used to be, just zoom in with your phone camera. Look at the spot under the date on your 1968 penny. If there's a D or S, sorry, it's not the $1 million one. But if there's nothing, don't freak out yet. It could still be a common Philly penny. Get it authenticated. Take it to a coin shop or send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll let you know if you're holding on to a life-changing payday or just another penny for the jar. Now, let me tell you about the time I almost threw away a valuable coin a few years back. I was going through my loose change, separating out the wheat pennies and older coins from the modern ones. I was in a rush, watching a football game at the same time, multitasking at its finest, right? Well, I scooped up a handful of pennies and almost dumped them into a donation jar at a gas station. But something told me to pause and take one last look. And there it was, a 1972 double-die penny. Not worth $1 million, but still hundreds of dollars. If I hadn't double-checked, I would have unknowingly given away a valuable coin for free. Check your change. You never know when you might be sitting on a small fortune. So, there you have it. The 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is out there, hiding in pockets, jars, and couch cushions across the country, just waiting to make someone a millionaire. Well, that depends on whether you take the time to look. So, before you dump your pennies into a coin-counting machine, check them carefully. That 1-second glance could turn into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive into rare coins, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I post regular videos on coins worth money, collecting strategies, and hidden treasures you might have lying around right now. Don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button, and let's go find some treasure together. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Have you ever rummaged through your couch cushions, hoping to find loose change, only to discover a penny and think, meh, just another 1-cent wonder? Well, hold on to your piggy banks, because that humble penny might just be worth a fortune. Today, we're diving deep into the world of the 1978 D. Lincoln penny, a coin that could turn your pocket change into a whopping $1.1 million payday. So, grab your magnifying glasses, and let's embark on this numismatic adventure together. First things first, let's set the stage. The 1978 D. Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, as denoted by the little d beneath the year. In 1978, the Denver Mint produced over 4.2 billion of these copper beauties. Yes, you heard that right, billion with a B. So what makes one of these pennies stand out from the billions of others? It's all about condition and rarity. Most 1978 D pennies jingling around in our pockets are worth, well, about a cent. Even those in uncirculated condition might fetch anywhere from 20 cents to $165, depending on their shine and lack of wear. But here's where things get interesting. In 2008, a pristine 1978 D penny graded MS67RD, that's Mint State 67 with red designation for you non-coin geeks, sold at auction for $546. Not too shabby for a penny, right? CoinValueLookup.com now. You might be wondering, how do we leap from $546 to $1.1 million? Great question. While the 1978 D penny has its valuable specimens, the real heavy hitters in the Lincoln penny world are coins like the 1943 D bronze cent. During World War II, most pennies were made from steel to conserve copper for the war effort. However, a few bronze planchets, the blank discs coins are stamped from, accidentally got minted into pennies. One such 1943 D bronze cent sold for a staggering $840,000. Similarly, the 1909 SVB penny and the 1955 double die penny have fetched hundreds of thousands due to their rarity and unique features. So, while our 1978 D penny hasn't hit the $1 million mark yet, it's a reminder that rare and valuable coins are out there, hiding in plain sight. Speaking of which, let me share a quick story. A few years back, I was helping my grandma clean out her attic when we stumbled upon an old coin jar. Among the dusty nickels and dimes was a peculiar-looking penny. After some research and a trip to a local coin dealer, we discovered it was a 1955 double-die penny. We couldn't believe it. Turns out, that little coin was worth over $20,000. Grandma used the money for a much-needed vacation, and I gained a newfound appreciation for the change rattling around in my pockets. Never underestimate the power of pocket change. That unassuming penny in your hand could be a hidden gem worth a fortune. So, next time you come across a 1978 D Lincoln penny, or any old coin, for that matter, take a closer look. You might just strike gold, or, well, copper. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of valuable coins and want more tips on uncovering hidden treasures in your everyday life, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join our community of coin enthusiasts, and let's keep the hunt alive together. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. Have you ever found a penny on the ground and thought, meh, just another 1-cent wonder? Well, hold on to your magnifying glasses, because today we're diving into a story that might just make you check your spare change a little more closely. Imagine turning a humble 2017 D Lincoln penny into a jaw-dropping $1.2 million payday. Sounds like a plot twist worthy of a Hollywood blockbuster, right? Let's unravel this numismatic mystery together. A common coin with uncommon potential. First off, let's set the scene. The 2017 D Lincoln penny, minted in Denver, is part of the Shield series, featuring Honest Abe on the obverse and a Union Shield on the reverse. With a staggering mintage of over 4.2 billion coins, you'd think these pennies are as common as cat videos on the internet. Now, you're probably wondering, if these pennies are so common, how did one end up being worth $1.2 million? Great question. Generally, a standard 2017 D penny in uncirculated condition might fetch around 30 cents to $3. However, certain error coins or those with unique features can command astronomical prices. For instance, a 1917 Lincoln Wheat penny with a double-die obverse error has been known to sell for up to $35,000. So what kind of errors should you be on the lookout for? This occurs when the mint mark is stamped more than once, leading to overlapping impressions. A 2017 PMS 62 Lincoln Shield penny with this error was auctioned for $125. In this variety, the letters A and M in America are unusually close or touching. A 2017 PMS 64 close AM Lincoln penny error fetched $300 at auction. CoinValueChecker.com. This error features noticeable doubling in the coin's design elements. While not documented for the 2017 D penny, similar errors in other years have commanded significant premiums. Let me share a quick story. A few years back, I was sifting through my loose change when I noticed a 2017 D penny with a peculiar sheen. Intrigued, I took it to a local coin dealer. Turns out, it was just a well-preserved standard penny, but the experience ignited my passion for coin collecting. While I didn't strike it rich that day, the thrill of the hunt was priceless. Keep your eyes peeled and your change closed while the tale of a 2017 D Lincoln penny selling for $1.2 million might be more fiction than fact. It's a fun reminder of the hidden treasures that could be lurking in our everyday lives. So, next time you come across a penny, take a moment to inspect it. You never know what stories it might tell or what value it might hold. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of coin collecting and want to uncover more secrets hidden in your pocket change, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join our community of numismatic enthusiasts and let's embark on this treasure hunt together. All right, folks, let me ask you a question. Have you ever casually checked your pocket change and thought, nah, this is just regular old money, only to later find out that one of those coins could buy you a mansion, a sports car, and maybe even an island? Well, buckle up, because today we're talking about a 1988 Lincoln penny, no mint mark, that is worth a jaw-dropping $1.30 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, worth more than most houses. And no, this isn't some mythical unicorn coin that only exists in the deep vaults of a billionaire's collection. It's out there, possibly in a jar on your kitchen counter, or even worse, in that Coinstar machine you dumped your change into last week. I actually have a funny story about that, but we'll get to it in a second. First, let's dive into what makes this penny so ridiculously valuable, how you can spot one, and why it's blowing up in the coin collecting world right now. Now, if you're thinking, it's just a penny from 1988, what's the big deal? Well, let me tell you, this thing is special. Most pennies from 1988 were minted in Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D mint mark, or San Francisco, S mint mark for proof coins. But there's a rare variety of the Philadelphia penny that has something a little off. And in the world of coin collecting, a little off can mean big money. This specific 1988 penny has a transitional error on the reverse side. Instead of using the standard 1988 reverse die, the US Mint mistakenly used the 1989 reverse die. Yeah, that's right. Someone at the Mint grabbed the wrong die, and boom, $1 million mistake was born. The 1988 penny was supposed to have a design where the letters in FG, Frank Gasparo's initials, on the reverse were spread apart. But on the error pennies, the letters are closer together, matching the 1989 design. This tiny detail is what makes the coin worth life-changing money. Imagine that, a small engraving error, and suddenly you have $1 million coin sitting in your couch cushions. All right, so if you're now frantically reaching for your change jar, let me tell you exactly how to check if you have this golden, well, copper-plated zinc ticket. It must say 1988 with no mint mark under the date. Look at the back of the coin, specifically near the Lincoln Memorial. If the letters are close together, congratulations, my friend, you might just be sitting on a millionaire's penny. Microscope to check for this. A simple magnifying glass will do. Or if you have really good eyesight, just squint real hard. Why is it worth $1.30 million? Now, you might be wondering, okay, this is rare, but why on earth would someone pay over $1 million for a penny? Well, coin collectors are a passionate bunch. They love unique errors, and when something is both rare and part of a major series like the Lincoln penny, prices skyrocket. In recent auctions, serious collectors have been battling it out, pushing the price from a few $1,000s to over $1.3 million. Why? Because there are so few known examples of this penny in pristine condition. If you find one and it's in mint or near mint condition, you're looking at life-changing money. Now, let me share a story that still haunts me. A few years ago, before I got deep into coin collecting, I had a big jar of pennies. You know, one of those oversized peanut butter jars where you just toss all your spare change. One day, I got tired of it taking up space, so I did what any impatient person would do. I dumped the whole thing into a Coinstar machine. It spat out about $43.75, and I felt pretty good about it. That is, until I learned about the 1988 no mint mark penny. I swear, I had tons of 1988 pennies in that jar. Could one of them have been the rare one? Could I have unknowingly fed $1 million penny into a machine that gave me a receipt for coffee money? We'll never know. But trust me, that's a mistake I'll never make again. Never underestimate the power of pocket change. That penny you just flicked onto the sidewalk could be worth more than a Lamborghini. If you have any 1988 pennies lying around, do yourself a favor and check them. You could be sitting on a hidden fortune without even knowing it. Or if you just love hearing about people making dumb mistakes like mine, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I cover rare coins, coin collecting strategies, and all the ways your spare change could make you rich. All right, folks, Picture this. You're digging through your spare change at the gas station, trying to find a quarter for the air pump. You pull out a handful of pennies, grumbling because, let's be real, pennies feel useless. But what if I told you that one of those little copper coins could be worth $1.4 million? Yep, you heard me right. Today, we're talking about the 2000 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, a coin so rare and valuable that it could buy you a mansion, a sports car, and still leave you with enough to fill a swimming pool with pennies just for fun. Now, before you go flipping over every penny in your couch cushions, let's break this down. Why is this particular penny worth so much? How can you tell if you have one? And most importantly, where do you cash in if you hit the jackpot? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you might be running to your change jar like a madman. Okay, so here's the deal. The US Mint usually stamps a tiny letter, a mint mark, on each coin to show where it was made. A D for Denver, an S for San Francisco, or nothing at all for Philadelphia. But in rare cases, a mistake happens at the mint, and that's where things get interesting. In the year 2000, a small batch of pennies was struck without any mint mark due to a bizarre error. Unlike regular Philadelphia minted pennies that are supposed to be blank, these specific no mint mark pennies have unique characteristics that set them apart. First, the design is slightly off, almost like a ghost print. The details of Lincoln's face look softer, as if he's been airbrushed, like a celebrity on a magazine cover. Some of them even show signs of a double die strike, meaning parts of the lettering and date are slightly doubled. Most of these error coins never made it into circulation, but a few slipped through the cracks, and that's why collectors are willing to shell out a whopping $1.4 million for one in pristine condition. So, let's say you're now officially obsessed and ready to check every single penny you own. But remember, a regular Philadelphia penny with no mint mark is common. You need more than just that. Slightly misaligned design. Lincoln's features might look just a bit off. Look at In God We Trust in 2000 under a magnifying glass. Some of these error coins were struck on different planchets, making them stand out. If your penny checks off these boxes, you might just be sitting on a fortune. All right, let's say lightning strikes and you've got the golden ticket, or, in this case, the $1 million penny. You don't just waltz into your local bank and ask for a cool million. Instead, take it to a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll verify it and slap a nice official grade on it. Big players like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers are where collectors throw down serious cash. Some wealthy collectors are always on the lookout for rare error coins. Whatever you do, don't spend it on a vending machine snack. That's a $1.4 million mistake. Now, let me tell you how I almost learned this lesson the hard way. A few years back, I was cleaning out an old drawer when I found a dusty jar of pennies from my childhood. Feeling nostalgic, I dumped them out and started sorting through them. That's when I spotted an old, weird-looking penny. The date was clear, but something about it seemed off. I thought, no way. Could this be one of those rare coins I always hear about? But instead of checking properly, what did I do? Like a genius, I spent it at a convenience store on a candy bar. Yep. A week later, I saw an article about a rare penny selling for thousands, and I felt my soul leave my body. To this day, I have no idea if that penny was special. But you better believe I check every single coin now. Lesson learned. Pennies aren't as worthless as they seem, some are worth millions. The 2000 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is one of the rarest error coins out there. Always check your change before you spend it. Now, if you're about to dump out your entire coin jar and go on a treasure hunt, smash that like button so I know I'm not alone. And if you want more tips on coins that could be worth life-changing money, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I post regularly about rare finds, valuable errors, and collecting strategies that could put some serious cash in your pocket. All right, folks, imagine this. You're digging through your pocket change, looking for a quarter to feed the parking meter, and boom, you spot a penny. You almost ignore it because, well, it's just a penny, right? But what if I told you that one particular penny, a simple 1995 D. Lincoln cent, has been valued at a jaw-dropping $1.5 million? Yeah, that's not a typo. 1 cent. Worth more than a mansion. Now, before you start rating your couch cushions, let me tell you exactly why this coin is so valuable, how to check if you've got one, and the insane story behind its worth. Plus, I'll share a little personal story about the time I almost threw away a coin that could have paid off my car loan. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. So, let's talk about this little copper-coated jackpot. The 1995 D. Lincoln penny was struck at the Denver Mint, hence the D mint mark below the date. Normally, pennies from this year aren't worth much more than face value. But here's where it gets interesting. Point one rare variety of this penny has a unique and dramatic double die obverse. That means Lincoln's profile and the lettering appears slightly doubled. It's like Honest Abe had a ghost twin haunting his face. This isn't some blurry, barely noticeable doubling. If you hold one of these pennies under a magnifying glass, you'll see bold, clear doubling on words like liberty and in God we trust. That's what sends collectors into a frenzy. Now, here's the kicker. While plenty of regular 1995 D pennies were made, over 7 billion, this specific double die variety is extremely rare. Only a handful are known to exist in mint condition, and those are the ones commanding sky-high prices at auction. Most of these rare pennies ended up in circulation, meaning someone probably spent one of these without knowing its true value. Imagine buying a candy bar with $1 million penny. That's gotta hurt. All right, let's talk numbers. A standard 1995 D Lincoln penny, worth 1 cent. A 1995 D double die variety penny in pristine condition, over $1.5 million at auction. That's more than some people's retirement savings on a single coin. Even lower grade versions of this penny can still fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So, before you toss that pocket change into the tip jar, give it a second look. You might be holding a fortune. Now, before you start tearing apart your couch or breaking open every piggy bank in sight, here's how to check if you've got one of these $1 million coins. It has to be from Denver, not Philadelphia. If you see clear doubling on Liberty or I in God we trust, you might have hit the jackpot. The better the shape, the higher the value. A scratched-up penny won't be worth as much, but even circulated ones can bring in solid money. Some doubling is subtle. A jeweler's loupe or a good quality magnifying glass can help you spot it. Now, let me tell you about the time I almost threw away a valuable coin. A few years ago, I was sorting through some old pennies, looking for anything unusual. I found one that looked kinda weird, like the letters were doubled. But instead of checking it properly, I shrugged, tossed it in my coin jar, and forgot about it. A week later, I was watching an auction online, and someone sold a penny just like mine for over $10,000. My heart sank. I ran to my coin jar, dumped everything out, and searched for that penny. Guess what? It was gone. I had spent it at a vending machine for a 50-cent bag of chips. I basically ate my profit. Lesson learned: always check your change. Never underestimate the power of a penny. That 1995 D Lincoln cent could be sitting in your coin jar, your glove compartment, or even at the bottom of your junk drawer, just waiting to change your life. Now, here's what I want you to do. Go check your change right now. If you find something suspicious, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. And if you want more insider tips on coins worth serious money, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I've got plenty more crazy coin stories and strategies coming your way. Hit that like button, share this with a friend who needs to check their pockets, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, let me ask you a question. What if I told you that a single penny, a tiny copper coin you might have walked past on the street, could be worth $1.6 million? Would you start checking your pockets right now? Because if you're not, you might be missing out on a life-changing payday. Today, we're talking about the elusive and insanely valuable 1986 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. It's one of the rarest modern pennies out there, and its story is crazier than you might think. So, grab your coin jar, get comfortable, and let's dive into what makes this penny worth more than a mansion. Because at the end, I'll share a personal story about the time I almost tossed a valuable coin in a vending machine. Spoiler alert, it still haunts me. So, let's get straight to the point. In 1986, the US Mint produced millions of pennies. Most of them had a little letter under the date. D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or nothing at all, meaning it came from Philadelphia. No big deal, right? But here's where things get interesting. There was an error, a mistake so rare that only a handful of these coins have ever been found. A 1986 penny that should have had a mint mark, but didn't. Now, normally, Philadelphia pennies didn't carry a mint mark anyway. So why is this one special? Because the missing mint mark wasn't just a standard issue. It was a mint error. This happened because of a die mix-up, where a die intended for another mint location was used, resulting in a totally unintentional no mint mark penny. And because it was never supposed to exist, Finding one is like discovering a unicorn in your backyard. Now, you might be thinking, all right, it's rare, but why is it worth more than my house? Great question. When something isn't supposed to exist, but does, collectors go wild. So far, only a tiny handful have been confirmed, making it one of the rarest modern pennies ever. The most expensive one was graded in near-perfect condition, meaning it looked like it just left the mint yesterday. Collectors will pay insane amounts for errors like this, and when a serious collector wants something rare, they're willing to throw down life-changing money for it. If it says 1987 or 1985, sorry, no jackpot. That's the key. If you see a little D or S, it's just a regular penny. The cleaner and shinier the coin, the better the chance it's valuable. Now, I don't want you going around with a magnifying glass scaring cashiers. But if you come across a 1986 penny that looks suspiciously different, hold on to it. Now, let me tell you about the time I nearly gave away a valuable coin for a soda. Years ago, before I knew what I was doing, I had a habit of dumping my change into vending machines without a second thought. One day, I was standing there, staring at a row of snacks, and decided on a bag of chips. I reached into my pocket, grabbed some change, and at the last second, I noticed something weird that it was a penny, but it looked different. The color was off, the details were sharp, and something just felt special. I hesitated for a second, but in my infinite wisdom, I thought, it's just a penny. Right as I was about to drop it into the machine, someone behind me sneezed. Startled, I accidentally dropped the penny back into my pocket instead of the slot. Later that night, I checked it. Turns out, it was a rare variety worth several $100s. I almost paid for a bag of chips with a coin that could have bought me a fancy steak dinner instead. Always check your change. You never know when you're holding onto a small fortune. One little 1986 no mint mark Lincoln penny could be worth $1.6 million. And guess what? There could still be more out there, waiting to be found. So, the next time you see a penny on the ground, don't just walk past it. It might not be just a penny. It could be your retirement plan in disguise. If you enjoyed this and want more coin hunting tips, hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more stories, strategies, and crazy finds to share. Who knows? The next big coin discovery could be sitting in your pocket right now. Hey there, fellow coin enthusiasts. Imagine this. You're sifting through your pocket change, and suddenly you stumble upon a penny worth a whopping $1.7 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, before you start eyeing that jar of pennies on your dresser, let's dive into the fascinating world of the 1973 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny and uncover the truth behind its value. So, what's the deal with the 1973 Lincoln penny without a mint mark? Is it the golden ticket to your coin collecting fortune? Let's embark on this numismatic adventure together, sprinkled with a dash of humor and a pinch of reality. In 1973, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia produced over 3.7 billion Lincoln pennies without a mint mark. That's right, billions with a B. So, finding one in your change isn't exactly like finding a needle in a haystack. It's more like finding hay in a haystack. These pennies are composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing in at 3.11 grams each. Now, about that $1.7 million penny, here's where things get interesting. The coin that fetched this jaw-dropping price wasn't a 1973 penny, but a rare 1943 D. Lincoln cent mistakenly struck on a bronze planchet instead of the wartime steel. This unique error made it a sought-after treasure among collectors, leading to its million-dollar price tag. So, while the 1973 penny is intriguing, it's not the million-dollar baby in this story. Error coins are like the quirky cousins at family gatherings. They stand out and often become the center of attention. The 1973 Lincoln penny has its share of errors that can add value. This occurs when the coin's design elements are duplicated due to die misalignment. Look for noticeable doubling in the lettering, date, or Lincoln's features. Depending on the extent of the doubling, such pennies can fetch anywhere from $25 to $100. When a coin is struck off-center, it results in a misaligned appearance. The value depends on the degree of the error. Coins with significant off-center strikes can be worth up to $70. Die cracks can create raised lines on the coin's surface, while a BIE error features a small die break between the letters B and E in Liberty. While common, dramatic examples can still pique collector interest. In the coin collecting realm, condition is paramount. Coins are graded on a scale, with higher grades indicating better preservation. These pennies typically hold their face value or slightly more, primarily due to their copper content. Coins that have never been in circulation and are in pristine condition can be worth between 10 to 30 cents. The most valuable 1973 no-mint mark cent ever sold was graded MS67 plus RD and fetched $3,850 in a 2020 auction. My own coin collecting journey. As a kid, I was convinced that every old penny I found was a hidden treasure. One day, I stumbled upon a 1973 penny without a mint mark. My heart raced, visions of riches danced in my head, and I proudly showed it to a local coin dealer. With a kind smile, he informed me that while my penny was interesting, it wasn't going to fund my candy empire. Lesson learned: not all that glitters is gold, or in this case, copper. While the 1973 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is a fascinating piece of numismatic history, it's not the million-dollar gem some might hope for. However, the world of coin collecting is filled with surprises, and who knows? Your next pocketful of change might just contain a rare error coin waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of valuable coins and want to uncover more hidden treasures in your pocket change, hit that subscribe button. Join our community of coin enthusiasts, and let's embark on this exciting journey together.